Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got
New 52 booklet.
it! Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared. I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
Not much. I'm ready to defend the glasses.
Yes, you could say that. And we're also here with Teladia Plays.
Oh,
What's up,
Jared,
brother?
You're Jared. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm well. I'm here to talk about Superman and Clark Kent, particularly.
By the way, wasn't there a Batman versus Superman parody clip where they had he
Yes.
takes off Gordon takes off the glasses? Who are you? Where's Commissioner Gordon? He puts it on. Oh, it's you, Commissioner. There was another man, Superman. You saw him.
Also, I just realized we're all wearing glasses.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yes.
We're on theme. We're on theme.
All right.
Point.
All right, everybody.
So
on the count of three, we just take them off. 1, 2, 3.
Teladia was delayed, but still. So anyway, so we are talking about, okay, so one of the things that a lot of people debate about when it comes to Superman, and one of the things that the general audience doesn't seem to get, and that's what this channel's for, is the whole Clark Kent glasses disguise. It's more than that. We're gonna get into why it's not just because people assume he just puts on glasses and no one knows his identity. It's more than that, as it will go into. But all right, so actually, you know what, Nick, do you want to go in to start off, give your thoughts on the whole thing?
All right. So the thing that like a lot of people like they fixate on like the glasses. All right. And they're like, oh, he just puts on he just puts on glasses and like no one knows who he is. Like I'm like, well, first off, okay, people do look a lot different with their glasses and without them. Like it literally just like changes the whole shape of our face. The thing is, Superman's disguise is much more mental than it is physical.
Yes, it is. Fun fact: in Brit's factions, you know what she put in her stories, and this is actually really genius. I can't believe DC hasn't done this. That the glasses are actually Kryptonian tech that like changes eyes and his face structure when we're looking at him.
It doesn't need to be that complicated, honestly.
It doesn't need to be, but that's like her way of kind of addressing it, because in her, at least when I was reading her stuff, it's less like he's like a Claude and he hunches and all that stuff. It's basically Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he's Henry Cavill.
Well, the thing is, the Henry Cavill, he doesn't really do. But this is why I fixate on the Reeve version, because the Reeve version actually did an amazing job separating Clark Kent from Superman. And Jared, whenever you want to like drop the clip, feel free. But,
yeah, I'm going to share screen. I'm going to keep it muted because I don't want to get YouTube copyright strikes. So we can get the full thing.
But like a little bit before that, when he takes when he takes off his glasses, yeah, like right here,
there he is.
Yeah, you see how he's like hunched over and like his posture. Like, look, like, he takes it off. Like,
yeah, there you go.
Up. Like, look how the transformation. Like he seems like he gets like a few inches taller. Like the way
he looks like, honestly, he looks like a different guy. I could see why even with just the glasses on.
Yeah, like the way he carries himself, like his facial expression, it's like also hats off to Christopher Reeve for that acting job. Like, you know.
Nailed it. Now, see, the thing is, I think the other part of it being psychological, Nick, and Teladia, you can weigh in on this next, is that I think he's playing into people wouldn't believe that this God amongst men is played by one of the most meek people ever.
yeah, like the whole point is like, I think there's actually a scene for Superman Returns where they do exactly that. Where like, so he's 6'4", he's about this weight, and they're looking over at Brandon Routh's character, and like, no, like the whole point is even if the glasses fall off, and even if Lois Lane looks him straight in the face, it's like, yeah, you look like, yeah, you resemble him, but there's no way you're Superman. You are adult. You are a klutz. Like seriously, I saw you get into a fight with a copier and lose. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the way it makes sense. So to Teladia, your thoughts on the Clark Kent disguise? Because actually, it's kind of funny. They haven't done the Reeves version of the Clark Kent design. In other words, the slouching and everything, like ever in the comics since then. Because what they've done is basically the Henry Cavill thing, where like he wears the glasses and that's it. But basically, I think that's where people get that. What's the word that that misperception from? What do you think, Teladia?
I think I agree with you, but I think what in the modern day era, that also that bumbly feeling is also when Brandon Routh took on the cape as well. When he portrayed Superman, he did the same thing too. Not only in the film, but in Crisis on Infinite Earths, when the crossover from CW, you could see
gotta
it
realize
there as well.
Brandon Routh is playing the Reeve Superman.
He is.
And even in Kingdom Come, he's still playing the Reeve Superman. Like you gotta realize in Crisis on Infinite Earths, it is that universe. Like they even have like the Kate Bosworth stuff, you know, because basically Superman Returns is Superman 3. It is the alternate universe Superman 3.
Mm-hmm. Which, and now I will say this: Superman 3 and 4 don't exist. So let's pretend that they're on the same Earth as Justice League in terms of existence.
I will say this though: there are some redeeming factors Superman 3. You know, like the Lana Lang stuff, the split personality. But it's kind of like the Batman Forever of sequels. But number 4 just doesn't exist.
Number 4 does not exist, and number 4 should be burned. But going back to this, you see, the way I always saw it is that whole no one would believe that like this god amongst men would like lower himself, if you will, air quotes, to living amongst us mortals. In fact, in Teladia, we'll go into this when we cover New 52 Justice League, when he and Wonder Woman get together. He takes her to Smallville, and he basically explains to her, this is why I'm Superman, because I'm protecting this whole thing. It keeps me grounded, which is why he doesn't need Lois Lane to be grounded.
What is that one clip where like Superman and Wonder Woman are in the diner, and Wonder Woman's like, I can't believe these glasses, and then like Lois Lane comes in and starts trying to hit on Superman, and Wonder Woman's just not having it. Where is that from? Please tell me.
That's from Justice League Throne of Atlantis, and I love she Wonder Woman shakes her hand, and Wonder Woman goes, "Oh, you have a strong grip," like Wonder Woman's crushing her hand. Plus, actually, so on that, in the comic version of that scene, and Teladia, again, we'll talk about this. So they're on that date, and Diana has that whole line, Clark, these actually work. How do these work? And he goes, well, it's a lot of different things. I think it's because, like, first off, whenever people typically see us, we're flying above them, so it's far away, so they probably don't see our faces that well. And second off, people don't believe that we have private lives outside of the Justice League. That's and that's always a way that I'm like, okay, that kind of explains it, because here's the thing about and the funny part is that in Superman Wonder Woman, Nick, you'll love this. So when she shows, so in Wonder Woman, so during the whole Clark is turning into Doomsday arc, and Teladia knows this because we just covered this issue. So her disguise, so she goes, Clark goes like, Clark is hiding. He goes into isolation. Wonder Woman can't find him, so she goes around to all of his like all his friends and stuff. So her disguise is a trench coat, and that's it. Her tiara is basically a headband, and she wears her Wonder Woman boots. And I'm like, I don't think you're aware of the concept of a disguise.
You know, but do you know what I was going to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Wonder Woman and Clark Kent disguise, when I watched the Throne of Atlantis film, it works well.
It
It
does.
works well. And why the glasses work in the New 52 compared to other incarnations is because the other incarnations don't know how to get it right. Just
They
saying.
don't. But by the way, so it's interesting. In the death of Superman, we'll cover this when we cover the movie, but I might as well give you guys a preview because I think Nick could care less about DCAMU movies, so I might as well just bring this up. So, you know how he reveals his identity to Lois Lane?
How?
After, first off, the relationship is broken up off screen. I'm going to bring that up whenever I bring up Death of Superman. But he just takes off his glasses and just stares at her. That's it. He doesn't do what, at least what Reeves did when he finally revealed it. That made sense. First, he like falls into the fire. His hand's fine. He uses heat vision. So I'm like, that makes sense. No, he just does this, Nick. Watch.
Also, like, to be fair, if you're gonna bring up Superman 2, you got to realize the entire first act, the plot of the first act is Lois knows he's Superman. Like she already knows. She's just trying to get Clark to admit it.
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
scene is basically just like the final part of it, where she finally beats him down enough. Like the whole first act is, oh, we're in a honeymoon retreat. We're not actually married. We're like, like the whole romantic comedy stuff. Like I love Superman 2, by the way. Like,
By the way, so, and what's interesting, at least in the Snyderverse, here's what I immediately believed Man of Steel. It's that Lois Lane figured out immediately he was Superman. I'm like, what? Why is this just happening now?
Because, I don't know. It's just like, I love that scene. It's just like Lois Lane takes one look at him, be like, and she just gives him the look like, yeah, that's not fooling me. And it's like he smiles at her and she smiles back. It's like their entire relationship is just told in like a split second, and like that is just good
Or
writing.
in the end, when she says "Welcome to the planet."
Yeah, like just I love how like it's wordless between them. Like I just gotta say, like the Snyderverse does a really good job of showcasing why these two actually work. Like I think you would agree, the Snyderverse is probably the only place that they make Lois and Clark actually work.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
God dang it, I love you, brother.
Yeah, by the way, Smallville as well. I like that. Here's the thing. The only time I can tolerate Lois Lane is in the TV shows and movies, not in the comics, because in the comics she's insufferable.
And in the animated show, My Adventure with Superman.
Yeah, she was horrible in that.
Why did you say that name?
I loved when people were blasting that show's depiction of Lois, because I'm like, now it's cool to hate Lois. Sweet, I love this. That was awesome. So now the other thing. Now, let me go over this. I could see why some people won't like believe that, because here's the other thing you got to understand about Superman, particularly modern Superman, and this is something that like Christopher Reeve didn't necessarily have to deal with. Modern Superman is freaking jacked, and okay, because the dude, let's say he just wears the glasses, and it's like, okay, so you're just as jacked as Superman. The only difference is that you wear glasses.
Actually, that's actually really funny, because like I remember, like if you ever read like the Return of Superman, like do you remember like towards the end when it's like, oh, Clark Kent was found in the rubble, and
they did
like,
that in the Wayne Superman movie,
and like there's this picture of him hugging Lois, and like Clark is like jacked to 9 hells. It's like, how did this fool anybody?
Yeah, I know. That's my issue with the disguise, is that there are, depending on when it's depicted. The Reeves movie, it was done well because, like you said, Nick, he did the whole hunch, and like, in fact, I think they even went so far in some depictions to make him wear like oversized clothes to like,
yeah,
be
like
a
the
little baggy.
Snyderverse. I think the Snyderverse actually did that. Because if you look at like what Clark wears a lot of loose fitting clothes. Like they don't actually like hug his body that much.
Mm-hmm.
Where a reasonable person wouldn't think he was jacked. They just thought he was big,
Yeah. Oh, and also here's the other thing. Traditional Superman, he has one other like defining feature of his face that kind of helps it disguise. He kind of, when he's Clark Kent, have you noticed his hair is kind of slicked back? When he's Superman, he has the S curl.
Yeah.
In fact, it's kind of funny
You mean
when
like this?
yeah, in New 52 Justice League, I mentioned that series a lot because Teladia and I are going to start on it. When he's showing Wonder Woman his disguise, so the way he turns into Superman is he puts the glasses on, like ruffles up his hair. Like that's his version, maybe because Superman has the super gelled hair. It's got
Yeah.
super gel. But I mean, so let me hear from you guys. Let me hear from Teladia. Let me ask you this, Teladia.
Yes.
What do you think about the argument that it doesn't work as a disguise? That it's a surprise that it's lasted this long.
I think what doesn't work is when he's like the clock that we know from like the. So if you think about it, right, the clocks from the comics these days isn't the same one that were from the 1970s.
No.
Whereas, because the 1970s one worked, it made sense.
Mhm.
Nowadays, it's just why didn't you just go back to the 1970s and do that?
Yeah, well, because here's the thing, though. Nowadays, I get the feeling people would see through that. I'm not exactly because here's the thing: if they had Henry Cavill like doing all that and being clumsy and having that, I think people would see through that easier. Me, I kind of think so. What do you think, Nick?
Again, please.
If Henry Cavill went full Christopher Reeves and did even the hunching and the clumsiness, I get the feeling people would still see through that nowadays.
Well, it's not the hunchiness and the clumsiness. It's just the way the Clark acts. Like he acts like a doofus, a klutz.
Oh, a
The
big
whole
galoot,
point-
according to James Gunn.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting because I feel like we're gonna kind of go back to that with X-Men Legacy. And I will say,
If that
the
movie even
actor-
comes out at this point.
well, that's just we don't know here or there, so we're just
Well, there's
speculating.
another rumor that Creature Commandos is going to be delayed till 2025.
There's always a rumor
Yeah.
for everything, so
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
like I'm sure there's a rumor that Kermit the Frog is going to become Thor in the next movie. So you think
Hey,
Frog here.
Froggy, Thorgy or Throg. No, Throg. There you go.
yes, and the next Thor movie is going to be Throg Thor, but it's going to be Kermit the Frog.
No, and then Loki is gonna be played by what's an alligator one? Because I had the alligator Loki.
Oh, by the way, they're developing a Muppet Avengers movie. My source says.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that. Actually, I swear, if a week from now a Muppet Avengers movie actually starts hitting the rags, please, everyone, point to this.
It could clip this. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just, I just don't think that the way Reeves did it now, did it back then, would work today. And this is why I'm concerned about Superman Legacy if that movie does come out. Because here's why. Because it looks like James Gunn is going heavily to the Christopher Reeve style of Superman stuff. And I've said for the longest time, it's great. Those movies are fantastic as artifacts of their time. I don't think you can pull that today. It's the same reason why modern Superman and like post-crisis is vastly different from Silver Age.
I would argue you can't pull it off exactly, but you need to do it in a different way. See,
Okay.
I feel like you can have clumsy Clark, but have him more act like a dork. Have him act more like a dork, like a kind of a dummy. Because like the way that Clark acted in the 70s, people don't act like that today, even the clumsy ones. But what you do is you modernize it. Like for example, let's kind of take a look at Batman. Batman does a similar thing with his disguise.
Yeah.
Where Bruce
whole
Wayne
Playboy
is the
thing.
disguise. Yeah, like look at what they did in the Batman. Okay, like they did the whole he's a recluse. He's weird. That is just a modern interpretation of Playboy, or even the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse. Bruce was still a Playboy. He still had that air to him,
Even
the kind of thing-
Nolan.
Exactly. They modernized it. You know what I'm saying? And so what you got to do is you take what they did before and you modernize it. It can be done. What can't be done exactly as before. Like for example, I think Superman Returns actually did a pretty decent job of modernizing that kind of disguise. Obviously, you probably need a little bit more modernizing, but like it can be done. That's my argument.
Now let me ask you this: let me ask you, gentlemen, this: how would you modernize it? Let's say you're in charge of this movie. How do we
Clark
take?
likes playing Warhammer,
And he owns and he owns a vitamin water company, and he's also a struggling actor on the side who keeps being screwed by a movie studio called Burner Bros.
No. He won't shut up about he won't shut up about Space Marines, and he likes to build PCs for people.
And apparently also he's a big fan of The Witcher. Yes, swords hanging in the Fortress of Solitude. But
oh my god, can you imagine that? Like imagine like this like the Fortress of Solitude, and it's like has like swords, movie posters in it. Like
that'd be my Fortress of Solitude. You kidding me? If I were Superman, I'd have all my collectibles on there. But back to this. So I think what they could do, because here's the other thing, is like I get the feeling because a lot of like dorkish characters or like clumsy characters nowadays, the way characterizations seem to go in modern movies is that they seem to accompany unlikable characters. So how do we do this, but maintain Clark being likable?
We make him likable. I mean, see that's more of like modern, like, you know, we can go into the politics of it, but we don't have to. But like, it's easy. We make him a nerd. We make him likable. I mean, it's you know, it's that easy. Like, I mean, you got more effort.
I got a better idea.
Yeah, what's up?
Make Clark an underdog. Simple.
Yeah, you could do that. That works.
Hey,
yes, fight for everything.
Have you guys seen like that meme that gets floated around every once in a while, where it's like out where they're talking about how they want to see a movie about the FBI is trying to go after Clark, the reporter, because like, oh, he's exposing something like a Watergate level scandal, and they keep trying to kill Clark Kent, but he keeps surviving because he's Superman, and they don't know why. That would be really cool.
I would so see that. No, and this is where they bring in the clumsiness. Like someone's trying to take a sniper shot, he trips and falls, and the shot like misses him.
See, this is why I actually really like BVS. Is they actually had Clark be a reporter in that movie. Like he actually did investigative journalism. Like you don't always like that's like I'm sorry, BVS is a great movie. I mean I'm pretty quiet here.
There's a new meme on him. He is angry and he's hunting. He holds up the card and it's got the bat symbol on it. I'm like, yes. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting way to do it. But and now here's the thing, Nick. Now, how do we strike that balance though? Because again, yeah, calling him likable and everything is fine. But honestly, how do we do this and not make Superman come off as annoying? Because I got news for you. Every time I see a clumsy character in a movie, there's a point where it crosses the line and gets annoying.
Well, that's really not something you can kind of quantify in like a few sentences. It's really a balancing act that comes down to both the script and the actor's performance, and like it's a three-part symphony. You got the writer for how they write the character, the actor for how they portray the character, and the director for how they direct the actor. As if you can get all three on the same page, and because it's a balancing act, and like you said, it's a very delicate balancing act. Oftentimes, the line between ridiculous and believable is very thin, and so and you have to kind of walk that line. You have to make sure all three parts are working in synchronicity.
And that's my problem, because James Gunn is directing and writing. And I'm like, whenever he does clumsy and oafish characters, or as he calls them, and as Britt and I always bring up, the big galoot, we're like, I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Like, Drax is fine for what he is. I'm going to be honest with you. I like Star-Lord, but I kind of preferred him. Like, I think his best showing was in Infinity War. Yeah. When, like, he was being written by the Russo brothers. Like, I actually think, like, because the problem with Star-Lord is James Gunn doesn't know how to write him. It's like he's constantly torn between heroic and a doofus. And like, it's like he keeps vibrating between the two, and it's like he doesn't know what Star-Lord actually is. He's like, he can't really pick one. It's frustrating.
Well, that's just James Gunn. And that's not the only thing. Thor was written infinitely better by the Russo brothers. It's almost like the Russo brothers should have been in charge of these franchises, but I don't know. That's just me from an outsider perspective. And I think a way you could do it is, yes, I would honestly like, first off, to see the Clark Kent movie where he's like being hunted by the FBI. That sounds hilarious and awesome.
Why won't you die?
Yeah. It's essentially that Austin Powers meme. Why won't you die? And then everyone's like, either he's being helped or there's something about this Clark Kent guy.
Yeah, like imagine imagine they like, you know, the whole like umbrella with the ricin thing at it, where like, you know, back in the Cold War, the Russians, when they wanted to kill someone, they'd like poke them with the umbrella and like get the ricin ball on them. They die 3 days later. They try to do that, but like I tried to poke them and like the umbrella is like all bent out of shape.
Yeah, it's all broken. They're like, the hell is going on? But I mean, the way I would balance it, and yeah, you are right, Nick. Now I think about it, it is kind of difficult to do this in like a couple of sentences. But see, the thing is, I wouldn't have him tripping and doing all that stuff. That's the first thing, because that's immediately the annoying part. I wouldn't have him be that much of a klutz. I wouldn't make him stupid, because I feel like that's the other thing. That's the thing about Big Galoot that kind of gets me. I'm like, oh my god. But the thing I would do, I would 100% do the hunching. Maybe he walks consciously differently, the glasses, all of that is fine. The hair, all that is fine. Even the oversized clothes, because that does work. That does change your appearance. That definitely works. So that's necessarily what I would do. Teladia, let me ask you, if you were in charge of Superman, first off, congratulations. How would you like handle the Clark Kent disguise portion?
I would make it similar to the New 52.
Well,
very similar.
That's no surprise. That's no surprise.
Because it works well in the New 52. Why don't you just copy and paste that?
Yeah, and for those that don't know, see the
wait. Control C, Control V. Simple.
Yes, exactly. Actually, what they could do, here's what they could also do. Have like Clark Kent be more of a pessimistic character and Superman's the optimist. Because when you do that, also, you're like, you're nothing like Superman.
Also, you want to know if they're going to copy from New 52, there's one specific line that they need to copy for New 52. Relationship status.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I like how you had to think about that for a second.
Think about that. There's another great line from the New 52. So Clark has to so Clark writes an article, why the world doesn't need Superman. And this is the funny part. Lois Lane barges into his apartment because she's Lois Lane and goes, you don't know the first thing about Superman.
You want to know what's funny? That's actually from Superman Returns. Like Lois, that's the article that Lois got the Pulitzer for.
Yeah.
In Superman Returns, she wrote why the world doesn't need Superman, and that's how she got the Pulitzer Prize, which was like was her character goal from the original movies. And she wrote why the world doesn't need Superman, and she got a Pulitzer for it. So I just find it funny.
Yeah, but the part I love is when Lois goes, you don't know the first thing about Superman.
You're right, Lois. I don't.
Yeah, I clearly don't. I do know he's dating an Amazon, which I've heard is better for him than dating a certain irreputable, abusive person.
Or irrelevant person.
Can you imagine like the Lois, like she doesn't know that Clark's man, and it's like, Clark, he's dating a lesbian, you know, dating the Amazon, and like, and Clark just minds like, Lois, you sound jealous. And I'm not jealous, you know. She's just getting all crazy because like she's yeah,
nice.
And she's like, don't tell me you like, I don't know, and like tell me, is this lady not attractive? And Clark's like, I don't know, Lois, the muscles, they just kind of do it for me.
No, but yeah, exactly. That's the way I would write that. If I were writing a Superman Wonder Woman movie, I just want to be clear, I would have constant, that would be the recurring joke of the movie. Everyone's saying, oh, Superman belongs with Wonder Woman, and like lambasting Lois Lane. That would be the theme of that film. But yes, and I love that idea, Nick, and that'd be hilarious if like she holds up the picture and Clark goes, you know, it's kind of going for me. The armor's really going for me.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be
I
the
mean,
best.
do you see the biceps on that girl? She definitely works out.
Yeah, exactly. That would work. And it's like, and then Wonder Woman, and then Clark goes, I feel like she could be a great spotter at the gym.
And then literally Clark just doing it just to pit like
Just to piss
wind
Lois
up
off.
Lois.
And then his inner dialogue is, this is so awesome. I can't wait to tell
It's like-
Diana about this.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like, I got 2 women interested in me. And then Hal Jordan's like, oh, come on. The farm boy?
And Batman, and then he walks in with 3 different like super powered females, like amateurs.
No, and then Clark and he looks at Clark and he goes, Kent, Wayne. That would be so good. That's what I would do. What, you Screecher? That's what I would do. By the way, that interaction I just had with Nick, that will make sense when we start doing the DC Online stream. But anyway, but what's kind of funny, if I were writing that, I would 100% have Batman and Superman attempting to one up each other. And then when Superman gets with Wonder Woman, Batman goes, "You win, Clark. I can't top this." Yep, there you go. I would love that. That'd be so good. And yeah, so and then in terms
No.
Yeah.
So you got, let's say basically you got like you got Superman and Wonder Woman are coming, and then all of a sudden Tim and Cassie walk in, Cassie Wonder Girl.
Yeah, that would
work.
work.
Like, well, this is a bad time to announce our relationship, Cass.
No, I thought it was. I thought that Tim was with Stephanie.
Well, in the Jeff Johns Teen Titans run, I think Cass and Tim were together.
It's what yes and no, because what happened was she was with Connor. Connor died in Infinite Crisis. She briefly had a fling with Tim because it was grief, and then she got back together with Connor.
Yeah, I know, like Nightwing and Wonder Girl, like they've flirted. I think they've slept together.
Nightwing and Wonder Girl.
Yeah, or Robin and
that's quite. I was like, wait a second here.
I'm talking about Donna Troy. I almost said a bad word, but
Oh yeah, Donna Troy. Okay, yeah. I mean, they have, and I could see that one. That's another Wonder Bat. I can say is legitimate.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of the same situation of like Donna and Richard are the same. Like they're too similar. Like they're too similar. Like they're similar enough where the attraction is there, but I just don't see it working out. That's why I like Nightfire, because like they're similar enough to get along, but they're opposite enough to complement each other and give each other what they need. Because Starfire needs a strong leadership quality. That's why she loves Richard. But like Richard needs someone calm and caring and whatever. They both have what he like. I'm sorry, I gotta defend my ship.
But this isn't about your ship.
Thank you. This isn't about Nightfire. By the way, we could do that as a debate for an Under Two Capes: Nightfire versus Batgirl Nightwing. Now that's an interesting.
We don't need to debate it. The answer is Nightfire.
No,
it's my channel, Nick. You do realize that? Yeah,
I will go down with.
You do realize, Nick. You do realize, Nick. I have.
Yes.
There you go.
You may have unlimited power, but I have Nightfire, so.
Dweeb.
But anyway, I had to. You set me up so well for that. But, and by the way, that should be a stream. That'll be a fun stream. But going back to the Clark Kent thing, yeah, there is 100%. Yeah, I think if they don't play up the clumsiness falling over, like the way Reeves did the whole clumsiness, he was constantly tripping and stuff. See, that worked for back then. Because what we have to understand is that we have to make this character to a certain degree marketable to the general audiences. Because, yeah, comic book fans are going to go see it, but it's not enough to make back the money that these studios want. If you want this movie to be successful, you kind of have to market to the general audience. That's why Man of Steel works so well. So you can't really play off the whole tripping and falling part. If you omit that part, The rest of it, I think you can get away with. What were you gonna say, Nick?
I mean, like, I still like the whole point of the disguise is to have people like say like, oh yeah, look at Clark Kent. He's the same weight, same height. Hey, he looks like Clark Kent. Like I remember one time his glasses fell, and like I saw off his face, he looked exactly like Superman in the face. Like Clark, Superman? No, not in a million years. That's the whole point of the disguise.
Or in the case of if you're writing Superman, and your name is Bendis, you're just gonna completely abandon that.
Why did you say that, Dad?
I mean, it can't be worse than Mark Waid doing the I'm Daredevil. I'm not Daredevil run.
Yeah, but again, that Superman run by He Who Must Not Be Named. See, that could have worked. Here's how that could have worked. Are you ready? He reveals the identity to the world, and then immediately the Daily Planet is like attacked, or Smallville is like nuclear bombed. Because that's what I expected to happen. Nothing like that happened, and
I mean, I think they kind of touched upon that in Civil War because, like, remember right after Peter unveiled his identity, I think like Aunt May and like MJ got attacked.
That worked. See, there you go. That's how you do it.
Because that like we're talking about like the whole secret identity thing. Like every time Peter says like if my enemies knew who I was, like that whole scenario just validates his secret identity.
By the way, the best part, the best depiction of if the enemies knew I cared about someone part was in that Justice League episode when Batman is rejecting Wonder Woman, and he goes, "If my enemies knew I was with someone, they wouldn't rest until that they caused him harm." And Wonder Woman just crushes a rock, and then Batman goes, "Point taken."
See, that's the one part. Like that's like the one part where even you agree. It's like, dude, let them come after Wonder Woman. Let them try. Like,
yeah. Go ahead. Let them try. I would love. You know, it's kind of funny. I would love for them to say, "Where can I go? Wreck your lady friend, Batman." And then Batman goes. Batman pulls a Morgan Freeman. Good luck.
Though I do think his first 2 points are pretty valid. Like dating the team never works. Like because remember they had the whole Shire and
yes, I was about to bring that up. Yes, exactly.
And then like I'm a rich kid with daddy issues. Lots of issues to where my thesis is yes, there is attraction between Wonder Woman and Batman.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm agreeing with you. Please just give me this part, okay? They obviously are attracted to each other and they do like each other. But the point is, Batman recognizes it's not a good idea, so he nips it in the bud. But he still does care about her.
As a friend. That's my point. That's my point.
He fills out his clothes like lentils fill out a sandwich bag.
You do not like making things easy for me, do you?
No, I do not. I do not like to. I do not like to affirm anything in the DCAU that involves shipping.
There are no freebies in Comics League, everybody. Just remember that.
Yeah. Oh, I got it, Nick. There is no Wonder Bat in Comics League. I'm trying to adapt the whole. There is no Warren Bossing say.
Well,
there is no Warren Bossing.
That's my first Amazon. Amazon. That's my first Avatar reference.
Teladia, the Earth King has invited you to Lake Logai. Teladia has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, I have
Just
no
the
idea.
silence. Just the silence is great. I love that. But all right. So, by the way, I just want to remind you all to like, comment, subscribe to this podcast. If you're listening to this if you want to listen to this like while you're at the gym and something, we're on all the audio platforms, and you can become a member and get great content like this, and you get member exclusive content like my list for November, which I have my books right there. I'm going to start putting together my picks for November. So back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Back to your regular scheduled Super Wonder.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be kind of interesting is if they go the route of Superman and Wonder Woman being together, it'd be kind of cool showing him teaching her about the secret identity. Like showing that in like a date scene where he's showing her how to be a regular person. Because here's the thing about modern Wonder Woman. She hasn't done the ambassador thing since the whole being an ambassador and having a double life kind of, that was just post-crisis. once you got to the new 52 and beyond, they kind of abandoned that and made her be like more of a warrior. So it would be cool to see her deal with that.
I mean, I thought that was
I
always
agree.
part of her character because, like, I know the Linda Carter show, she was kind of meant to be an ambassador of sorts. I thought that was like her all like that's the reason why her armor is red, white, and blue is supposed to be as her respect to the country or whatever.
Well, actually, what it actually is, it's a tribute to get this. So, do you know why she's named Diana?
Jared, I'm talking about like former continuity. You're talking about a recent retcon.
No.
Talking about.
I'm talking about former continuity.
When did this come out? When did the story come out?
The thing I'm going to talk about, it was the George Perez run.
Okay, well, I'm going back to like the 40s here. So,
okay. Yeah, the thing about that is that to a degree, yes, but I'm talking about actually having like an embassy and attending state events and all that stuff, being an actual formal one. Because yes, she is like always supposed to be like an ambassador, but I'm talking about this.
So are you saying that like Wonder Woman has diplomatic immunity?
Yes. So anyway,
it's just been revoked.
What George Perez said, what George Perez retcon is that, you know why his name is Diana and why that the uniform has the red, white, and blue? Because before Steve Trevor crashed on the Themyscira, his mommy crash landed on Themyscira and ended up saving the Amazons from a catastrophe. So out of deference, they made the uniform out of the red, white, and blue flag and named the first daughter of Themyscira Diana, because Steve Trevor's mother's name was Diana, which makes Wonder Trevor all the more creepy. He's got a real mommy. Now that's what I call an Oedipus complex. But anyway, so that's another reason to say that Steve Trevor should not be with Wonder Woman. But so that's my point there. But they could. I'm saying Clark and what they did in the new 52. Man, this is pretty much praise the new 52 episode as it normally is. It's Clark was teaching Diana essentially how to be a human being. And what's kind of ironic about that is that everyone always says, but they can't be together because they're not grounded. They need to be with humans to ground them. And first off, I call major BS on that. But also, Clark is essentially, to quote to Batman, as close to a human as he can be. And he could teach Diana how to be a regular human being, go about her life and stuff, and not have to worry about like all this like Wonder Woman and Queen stuff. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, so that's essentially what I think they could do with the identity. By the way, do you guys know how they reversed the secret identity reveal in the comics? And this is a very recent thing. This was Dawn of DC. So what Lex Luthor did, he stole the powers of Manchester Black and wiped everyone's memory of Superman's identity except for like the Justice League and like Lois. In other words, anyone that needs to know about it knows about it, but anyone that doesn't. And here's the funny part. If he tells anyone, they get a heart attack. So that's pretty much it. Again, remember what I said pre-Dawn of DC. I said I make you a bet they're going to start bendicifying. I had to get the right word. DC, which I'm like, yes, do it.
I guarantee, I'm willing to bet Lex Luthor knows who Superman is still.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
It's like, hey, Mercy Graves, I got a secret I want to tell you.
No. I don't think he could do that. Right, Mercy Graves is a good guy in the comic. She works for Superman. Because what they did is, so Lex is in prison, but he wants to help Superman. We don't know if we think he's plotting and everything like that. So he gives LexCorp to Superman and calls it SuperCorp. And it's basically a corporation behind Superman to like aid him into superheroing.
Why don't they just call it Kent Industries?
Well, because then would know that Clark Kent is Superman.
I mean, that's one way to get the entire world a heart attack.
Nice, I love that. Yeah, that's a good one. But so the thing about current Superman is that you have Supercorp. Then you have 5 Kryptonians that live in Metropolis. Then it better be the safest city in the DC universe. Why
Or
does
the- or-
anyone try and do anything in Metropolis anymore? Can you guys answer that for me? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't
I
make
mean,
any
it's like
sense.
it's like why would anyone commit crime in Gotham when you have like 5 different Bat people who are throwing the city every night?
And one of which will shoot you in the face.
It's like a twisted game of Bat Roulette.
Oh, another one has a flaming sword. We just saw him, the Red Power Ranger used it. And that's a reference to Nick's video. There you go, right there. But fantastic analysis. But yeah, it just astounds me that people commit crimes in the DC universe when you have these gods there. Marvel, it makes kind of sense because it's like most of the heroes are humans, so or at least human-ish. But when you have like, who commits crimes in like Metropolis? I don't get this. But anyway, so wrapping up, the thing is, there is a way to make the Clark Kent disguise work, and you know what? It's a very important part of the character, and this is the one thing that I think from the Christopher Reeves era could transfer well to the modern era if you take away like the tripping and falling portion of it.
Yeah.
The posture part is what sells me on this being a great idea. Because I believe that Reeves was the first one to actually do that as well. I don't think they even did that in the comics.
To be fair, this is also the first live-action Superman movie, so there's a lot of firsts in that movie.
I'm talking about also in the show too, because I don't and like the George Reeves show, because I don't think they even did that. But see, my point is, as much as I always talk about the Reeves movies and saying that a lot of that stuff won't transfer well to the modern day, this is something that I think could translate reasonably well. So Nick, I will give you kudos for being the Reeves fan here. I'll give you kudos for that.
Thank you.
That works. So I think that is a good point to wrap this baby up. So Nick, by the way, drop below your thoughts on the Clark Kent glasses disguise. If you think it's convincing, if you think it's not convincing, yes, everyone take off their glasses. And if you were in charge of like Superman Legacy, how would you do it and not have it be annoying? So
sound off if you got a pair.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, Nick, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out on the channel?
Well, on Friday, we will be doing an excellent live stream about the remakes that we want to see, what video game remakes we want to see. We've been eating pretty good
Halo
last
3.
week. Well, there's his answer. We've been eating pretty good the past few years. And then on Saturday, I will be continuing my search into Arkham Asylum. I got these little chuckle bugs right here. Then Bunny Girl Nix will also be joining us. They're trying to drive me cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. So far, they've not succeeded, but they are sure going to keep trying. And yeah, so Teladia, what you got going on?
We'll see how Nick does in Arkham Asylum when he can't do the stealth missions.
Oh, that Bane boss battle was tripping me up towards the end. We'll see if I can even like. Oh my god,
Jared,
you
can't wait for that, the Bane boss fight.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yes.
watch like a strategy video before I do that stream, just so I know.
No, Nick, don't do that. Just go in completely blind, and that'll be more hilarious for content, just to see you struggle.
Content.
Because here's the thing: we could say, "Is Bane gonna break your mind or your body?"
I hate you both.
It's for content.
It's for content, Nick. Come on, it'll be more fun. But what else you got to lie?
So on my channel, either tomorrow or Sunday, I'll be doing a Spider-Man stream. Monday is my day off because I gotta do thumbnails and all of that. Get that done for Tuesday and Wednesday.
I'll have that to you momentarily.
Yeah. So Tuesday is the Spider-Man stream with Jared. That is gonna be great at 9 p.m. GMT. And Wednesday is the Super Wonder stream with Jared. And then, as per usual, we'll be doing our Under Two Capes. And then next week's episode is a great episode. All I can say, it's to do with gaming. That's all I gotta say.
That's gonna be fun. So in terms of Comics League, so as I've mentioned before, movie night is going to be talking about the death of Superman. And so that'll be tomorrow at the time of this release. And tonight for Comics League Dark, I say tonight because, again, this is coming out on Friday, we are going to be talking about all things movie studios because we're going to talk about the MCU, possibly bringing back the original Avengers, maybe wanting to go, instead of Kang, bring in Doctor Doom. There's any number of things we can talk about. And we're also going to talk about the head of HBO having his employees make fake Twitter accounts to fight with people who critique their shows. And wait, that is deserving of this right here.
Yeah, it's like at Warner Brothers.
They called us bots.
I know. Nick had this fantastic tweet where he's like, they called us bots? What the heck? So Super Wonder Legacy is going to be dealing with the children of Superman and Wonder Woman. So we're going to have some super babies.
Super babies.
So we're going to have some super sons.
Don't get Tevye started.
Tevye will magically show up in the recording.
I swear, if like the comment section starts lighting up with Tevye, like you somehow find a way to this recording,
I'll let you know. I'll tag you in the comments. And next, Under Two Capes, I actually have a topic in mind that Teladia kind of hinted at. We are going to talk about like why DC needs to invest more in like a Superman game, because we have a Wonder Woman game coming out. We have numerous Batman games. It's time for a Superman game. We're going to talk about it, also what we want in it, and what other characters we would like to see them make games of. And so it's going to be a very gaming themed Under Two Capes in the next week. And obviously, Nick, you're welcome to join us, because I know you also know a lot about gaming. So I think you'll be able to help us out with that.
I know a few things.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, I'll be on these gentlemen's channel with Nick. We'll be doing Avatar Rewatch, Justice League Rewatch, Teladia, Super Wonder, and Spider-Man. Oh, and also next Indie Wednesday, I'm probably going to do another Amalgam comic. Or actually, know what? No, I'm going to be talking about Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Jared, have you done Dark Claw yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Because look what I get.
Transformers.
I'm covering this, baby.
These guys.
Yes, exactly. I'm covering that. And then, by the way, Nick, we have to cover Soul of the Dragon at some point, either on my channel or your channel. Either way.
I'll do it at my channel because like Power Rangers and whatnot. So
yeah, whatever. And I also may be covering Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I picked up that trade as well. So
the comic or the movie?
Comic. There was a movie for Power Rangers. No, I'm not talking about the crappy
Batman Turtles.
I'm talking about Power Rangers Turtles.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking of the Batman Turtles crossover. Sorry.
Which that would be a fun one to cover, though. Yeah. I'm totally fine to cover that. To be clear,
that's a movie night movie.
That's a movie night, 100%. That can be a Nick pick for a movie night. Or, however, we'll arrange that. The point is that will be a movie night at some point, because that is a fantastic idea. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh yeah, and then in terms of like again, November is going to be finish the DC AMU month. So next week is Return of Superman, or like Reign of Superman. Then we're going to do, I believe I said Batman Hush. I'm skipping Wonder Woman Bloodlines because that would be kind of too painful for me.
For obvious reasons.
Or you know what? I could do Bloodlines and then try and get Britt on, and then we'll both rant about it. I'll talk to Britt about this. The point is,
that would be a fun idea.
The point is, and the fourth week is going to be Dark Apocalypse War, one of the best movies. And then maybe we'll try and get Sam Liu back on to talk about it. He said he'd be down for it. And yeah, that's about all I got here. Stay heroic, and remember to like, comment, subscribe on this. All of these gentlemen's information will be in the channel below. What's up, Teladia?
And before we end, just gotta like to say, Super Wonder for life. End of discussion.
Night Fire forever.
So anyway, yes, you can be the one person in your corner saying that, Nick. But in terms of like, yeah, so Make sure all of their information will be in the description, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe to their channels. These guys mean a lot to me. They help me out a lot with my content. Would really appreciate if you guys would get their numbers up. So on that note, stay heroic, and remember, Amazons and Kryptonians go together like peanut butter and